My name is Miss Jenkins.
I'm Miss Griffin.
This is our second grade class. Today we're going to talk about health, but in a different way. We're going to talk about health of your brain, and so like your mental health and how your emotions affect your body. The first thing we're going to do though, can I have a volunteer to show an activity? Anyone? It's really easy. Can you come up here and help us? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take this, lay a piece of tape here so you won't get it on the table. And I want you just to squeeze out a little line on the table with toothpaste.
All the way across.
Just a little bit is fine. Yeah, that would be good. Thank you. Okay, so now I want you to put it like back in there. Yeah, you really can't. Why? It's already out, right? Okay, thank you. You can sit back down. Okay, so what that means is basically when you say mean things to people, it comes out, and no matter how hard you try to put it back in, you can't put it back in. So that's a really important thing to remember, that even if you say sorry or anything like that, those words are said, and it'll always be on the table. So can we first talk about what bullying is? Can anybody tell me?
Being mean.
Being mean, yeah. That's a really good example. What are the different ways that people can bully other people? Cyberbullying, yeah. Okay. Any other ways that we can bully people?
Physical.
Physical, yeah. I'm thinking of one more. Do we have another one?
Verbal.
Verbal, yeah. That's saying things or pushing people or over the internet. That's good. So who is a bully? A bully can really be anyone, and that's important to remember. It's not just a boy or just a girl or an adult or somebody your age. It can be anyone. It can be a neighbor, anything like that. A bully is anyone who's mean over and over again. So a lot of times we like to think if I say something mean to him, then I'm being a bully. But bullying is really just when you do it over and over again. A lot of times people like to say things when they have strong emotions, but it doesn't mean they're trying to be a bully. So examples could be leaving somebody out on a playground or something like that, or saying mean things to somebody. If you tell somebody that your hair looks ugly and you tell them that every day, that's a really mean thing, and that can hurt their feelings if you say that verbally. Hurting somebody physically, so in class, if I see any punching or biting or kicking, that's definitely physically hurting someone. So that's a good example of how you can bully somebody physically.
Okay, so we're going to talk about why would someone bully. Sometimes it's not just because the person is mean. They could have, there's underlying reasons for someone to bully. Sometimes people just don't like themselves, and it makes them feel better about themselves to bully other people, to be mean to other people. Maybe someone has been mean to them. Maybe they're unhappy and they feel like if they bully other people, if they say mean things to other people, maybe they'll stop saying mean things to them. Maybe it'll make them feel better. And sometimes, I know that not all the time the popular person is the mean person, the bully, but often the popular person, the person who wants everybody to like them, ends up being the bully because they think that being mean to other people is funny. They think that other people will laugh at them making jokes like that. Some people think that it's going to make them seem tough to other people. And often they have fears of their own that they want to hide. And also, you don't always have to be the bully to be encouraging the situation. If you see a bullying happen and you laugh at it, you're encouraging that bully to continue that behavior. So you always want to remember not to laugh at people in those situations.
Okay, so now we're going to try to talk about whether or not somebody's joking around or if it really might be bullying. So if you're joking around, everyone's having a good time. So it might be teasing, but it might not be bullying. If they're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, then it's usually not bullying. No one is getting hurt in this situation, and everybody's usually participating. No one is left out. So and we're going to talk about whether it's a one-timer thing or it happens over and over. So if somebody's being mean on purpose, but it's only happening once, that might just be a one-time thing. And often we talked about this. Somebody can get really upset and say mean things but don't mean to. And then it can happen once and doesn't repeat itself. So we talked about that just a little bit.
Okay, so in bullying, sometimes if you just have an argument with someone, that's not considered bullying. Just a normal conflict is when two people with balance of power that have a fight, argument, or disagreement. That's not considered bullying if they're on level playing fields. And in just a normal conflict, a solution can be found for it. But where bullying is concerned, this is repeated, unwanted, aggressive behavior towards someone. Someone is being hurt on purpose, and this can be social, physical, or cyber. And you've talked about that, you gave those examples. That's considered bullying.
Okay, so there's a bunch of different people that could be involved in this situation. So one person would be the target. So a target is, has anybody ever like shot a bow and arrow or shot a gun or something? Somebody might go hunting. We have some people nodding their heads and stuff. So what you shoot at is usually the target. That's what you're aiming for. So that's the same thing in bullying. That's what you can apply it to. The person that's a target is the person that's being singled out or harassed or something like that. Has anyone ever been bullied in this room? Saw some heads nod a little bit. Can anybody tell me how that might feel? Sad, yeah. Doesn't make you want to play with a lot of people.
Okay, so another person that is involved is the bully themselves. A bully is a child who targets another student and is mean or aggressive on purpose. Has anybody been the bully?
Oh, I see some head nods.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Sometimes you don't even know it's happening, but once you realize that you're being a bully, you might be able to change that behavior. Nobody's a bully forever. So if you realize that you're being mean to somebody right now, we might have some bullies in the room. You can always change that behavior to make sure it doesn't happen again. We're going to do a little bit of vocabulary in this lesson. We're going to learn some big words, but it's good for us. So a reinforcer. I'm going to say it, and then you're going to say it, and we're going to say it together, okay? Reinforcer. Okay, let's say it together. Reinforcer. So if you enforce something, you really big and strong, you make sure it happens, okay? So the reinforcer, it might not start the bullying, but it makes sure that it's happening. So these are people who are laughing and encouraging the behavior, and it might make them want to do it again, the bully.
Okay, a bystander. A bystander is children who do not want to do anything to encourage or stop the bullying behavior. Is being a bystander a good or a bad thing? Bad? Because why?
You're not helping the situation.
If you're a bystander, you know that the situation is happening and you're letting it happen. What can a bystander do to help? What was that?
You're getting mad.
Okay, what else? Anything else? A bystander can encourage the person that's being bullied. Sometimes the person who's being bullied just needs a friend, and that's something that a bystander can do. You can also go get an adult, and that's something that you're encouraged to do, is go get an adult that can help, because they can often do more for that situation than you can.
Okay, so another word that we might not be familiar with is ally. An ally is somebody who's like your partner. It's somebody who fights with you, not physically, but stands by your side when you're having a hard time. So the definition would be children who defend the target and will comfort him or her. So this is a person that's really a buddy in the situation. The ally can also tell the adult and things like that.
Okay, so we're gonna use our sheets of paper to do an iMessage. This is an activity that if someone is bullying you, this is something that you can say to them. So it's gonna go, if someone is bullying me, you're gonna say, I feel blank when you blank because blank, so can you please blank. So y'all are gonna write out this iMessage for yourselves, and then you can use someone next to you, you can talk about it with the people next to you, and we're gonna call on some examples.
Okay, here's the situation. It's written down right here.
You are sitting next to Jimmy in class. Jimmy keeps calling you a nickname you don't like and taking pencils off your desk. What is a good iMessage you could say to Jimmy? Do I need to repeat that?
Talk to each other, kind of
You
get an
wanna
idea of
repeat
what
that?
you would say.
Okay. Jimmy keeps calling you a nickname you don't like and taking pencils off your desk. What is a good iMessage you could say to Jimmy? Feel free to get help from your partners. Y'all can talk about this. Does anybody need me to repeat the situation again? No?
All right, y'all let us know when you're ready so we can talk about it, okay? Okay, I see some pencils down. Can anybody tell us what they wrote? Can you tell us what you wrote?
I feel sad when you call me names because it hurts my feelings. Can you please stop?
That's a really good example. Can we get one more?
Does anybody have anything different? Yeah.
I said, I feel sad when you take my pencils because I need them to do my work. Can you please go get your own pencil?
Good.
That's a really good one. I like that. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about a bully versus a friend. So here's a situation that we're just gonna talk about a little bit. So Melly tripped at recess and she fell and scraped her knee and she's crying now. So y'all try to talk to your partner. What would a bully do in this situation? I'm here y'all talk just a little bit before we talk about it, okay? Okay, y'all in the back, can you tell me what you talked about?
A bully would start bullying when she's crying.
Yeah. Laugh at her, call her a baby, yeah, those are some mean things. Now I'll talk about what a friend would do in the same situation. I wanna hear y'all talk, okay? I heard this group over here say, I would ask her if she's okay. That's a really good example. That's a really good example. Can I hear from somebody over in the back? What did y'all say?
Ask her if she was okay and give her a Band-Aid for her scraped knee, if you had one.
Okay, good job.
Okay, so this is another turn and talk. You hear Zach tell Trevor that he will beat him up after school. What would a bully do?
Joy.
Anybody want to answer that? Anybody already have a thought?
I heard someone in the back say something good.
He don't join in.
Yeah? Okay, so what would a friend do to help him? Right.
Okay, this one's a hard one. It's a little bit different. You hear a teacher making fun of another student, and this is more than one time. So what would a bully do in this situation? Yeah, make fun of that same student, laugh at them, make sure they know about it. What would a friend do? This might be a little bit harder, but what could we do to help this person?
Another teacher.
Yeah, I heard parent, principal, another teacher. Those are all really good options, but definitely tell an adult this isn't a situation that you want to handle on your own.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the difference between tattling and telling. And this is something that you, as someone who's viewing a situation where bullying is occurring, this is something that you need to learn how to do. We, in general, want to tell and not tattle. Tattling is meant to get someone in trouble. It's behavior. The behavior that you're reporting is an accident, and that shouldn't be something that you should. An adult probably has a teacher probably has other things that they need to be doing, and the behavior that you're reporting is an accident, and that's not something necessarily that you need to tattle about. Tattling is harmless, and it's often something that you can handle on your own, and most of the time it's unimportant. telling is something that you do to keep someone safe. That means that if someone is being bullied, you want to tell an adult because you want to keep them safe. This behavior that you're reporting is on purpose, so like Shelby said, it's something that you're doing over and over again. It's dangerous and that you need help from an adult, and it's important to tell.
Okay, so I want y'all to turn over your pieces of paper on the back, and I want y'all to take a second and put your left hand with an L, put your left hand on the left side of the paper like that. And you're gonna trace it. Make sure you do it long ways, so you have room for both hands, okay? So I want y'all to do that with me. So I will show y'all on the board so that y'all, here's your piece of paper. Okay, so you just had to have enough room for your right hand too, okay? So I want to see everybody doing that. Okay, so when you're done, I want y'all to take a second on each finger, so all 5 of your fingers, I want y'all to write a name of somebody you can count on if you see bullying happen or if you're being bullied yourself. So this can be a teacher or your mom or your dad or someone that you can count on if you're being bullied. Okay, now I want you to do the same thing with your right hand, trace it onto the paper. And on that hand, on each different finger, you're gonna write a characteristic of a good friend. So one I think of is respect. So you respect a friend, or kind. That's a good characteristic of a friend. I want y'all to do this, and then when you're done, please bring them to me. Friends on this side, and then characteristics of a good friend on this side. Okay, so other than that, we're just gonna hang them up on the board, and so we can kind of see what everybody else says and how they feel about it. So here's an example of Caleb's. He said, you should be kind and honest and reliable and cool as a friend. And he can rely on his teacher or his sibling. He can also rely on himself. So that's a good thing. So whenever you're done, just bring him up to me. But other than that, thank y'all for being, for listening and participating.